my channel, and today I'm going to be doing my very first impressions video, which is weird because I've never done one of these before, but I love to watch them, so I don't know why I've never done one. So I received today in PR the Stay Naked products. You can see here, ignore any dogs you see in the background. Also ignore my sad little pinky nail that I just broke. So I'm going to be doing these Stay Naked products. I'm going to be testing these out today and seeing what I think about them. 4-hour wear, that's baffling to me. And this is the Stay Naked concealer. This says up to 24-hour wear as well. There is a Stay Naked threesome. It looks like to be a bronzer, a highlighter, and a blush. This is the Stay Naked The Fix up to 16-hour wear foundation, powder foundation. So I don't actually usually wear powder foundations, although this color does look like a good color for me. And it comes with a charcoal, it says charcoal infused sponge. Is that what that says? I'm bad at this. I'm just gonna read what the box says. So this does say it's a long wear vegan formula, real skin matte finish with moringa seed extract. I have no idea what that is, but it sounds cool. Microfine powder, transform skin with seamless instant full coverage, breathable, real skin matte finish, does not transfer, stay true color, water resistant, sweat resistant, vegan formula, and does not contain animal derived ingredients or byproducts, which is what a vegan formula is. So really what I'm seeing from this product, so I don't usually dig powder foundations, like at all. Like I usually hate powder foundations for a couple of reasons. One, they don't seem to last as long, and that would seem to ring true with these products as well. I feel like they tend to cling onto dry skin and kind of hide in wrinkles and fine lines. And I don't feel like they have as good a coverage usually. That's not always true, but I do feel like 9 times out of 10 they don't have as good a coverage. So that's a little frustrating. So I am gonna try this today, but I'm gonna tell you, I'm just a disclaimer, I already don't really care for powder foundations. So I might not like this one just because of that fact. I'm gonna give it a shot though and see what I think. It's called the Perfect Threesome, which is ridiculous, that's hilarious. It says silky microfine powder, bronzer, highlighter, and blush infused with moringa seed oil. Does not transfer, stay true color, and vegan formula as well. And this does have that nice magnetic clasp. So far the packaging has really impressed me. Like if I saw this in Sephora or Ulta, I would be totally down to try it just because of the pretty packaging. And I'm gonna try to use these products today without a setting spray. And if you've heard me before, I freaking hate doing my makeup without a setting spray. But I want to see how long they actually last. And I'm going to try to do like a little update every so many hours or whatever. I feel like this is some crazy claims though. Like all of these products say that they're sweat resistant and transfer proof and all of that stuff. And that just seems like some crazy intense like claims. I just don't know about all of that. I did choose my colors, and I am almost never the lightest shade in a foundation line. So for example, in Makeup Forever, I'm 115, I'm not 110. In ColourPop, I'm Fair 35. They have Fair 30, 20, and 10. I think they even have 25. And like L'Oreal, I'm usually the 2 or the 3. You know what I mean? Like I'm never the lightest shade. So I picked 20, which this is on the tops of all of them. So they have their, oh, you can kind of see it. So they have this color like undertone, and then they have so cool undertone and pink undertone, and then the shade intensity, which mine is Fair. So I got 20 CP on all of mine because I have cool skin, and I have pink undertones in my skin, like you can probably see. I'm very much like pink, very cool undertone. I don't have a lot of warmth to my skin like at all. This just does not look like it's gonna match me. This seems awfully dark to be the second lightest shade. Like, I just don't, I mean, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna do it anyway. And if it doesn't work for me, I'm just gonna gift it to somebody. Or, I mean, maybe wait until I'm spray tanned if I like it. Because if I'm spray tanned, I could probably make this work. I feel like they have a decent amount of shades. And out of all of the shades they have, I'm really surprised that the second lightest shade looks like it's too dark for me. Because I'm always the second lightest shade. And I don't feel like I mean, I'm pale. Don't get me wrong. I am Casper, but I'm not like the most pale usually. And I can say that with like confidence because I do a lot of clients and I see like what most like pale people, there's a lot out there who are much more paler than I am. Much more paler, much more pale. I don't know. They're paler than me. So I'm just a little surprised by this. So let me just read what this box says. So this is a buildable, full coverage, flexible, breathable, does not transfer, real skin matte finish, corrects the look of imperfections, and it's waterproof vegan formula. I just don't know. I mean, I feel like on camera, this looks kind of close. I say that, but like, in person, I just don't feel like this is going to be my shade. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I could be totally wrong. That'd be exciting. I like to be wrong when it's like stuff like this. Flexible, breathable, real skin matte finish, medium buildable coverage, so not full coverage, does not transfer, minimizes the appearance of pores, stay true color, and it's waterproof as well as a vegan formula like the others. So here's the thing. I feel like this product line is very much like breathable, naked, like, oh, I wish I could find, if I can find the picture, I'm going to put it in. But I see all these pictures of like, you know, Kim K with the natural makeup look and all of these, like, especially in commercials for foundation. You know, when you watch a commercial for foundation like L'Oreal or CoverGirl, it always looks like the model's not wearing any makeup at all. And I really feel like that's what this is like marketing towards, that like no makeup, you don't feel it, it's very natural, it stays on so it's not rubbing off on people that you're hugging, it's not coming off when you're sweating, it's not coming off if you cry or get stuck in the rain or whatever. So I feel like this is very much like the busy woman's, average woman's foundation, and that's kind of what they're trying to gear it towards. However, I will say that this is $39, so that's a little pricey. This is definitely not like your average everyday person's foundation. The powder, oh, okay, I see. The powder is $39 as well. The concealer is $29, which is kind of a lot. Then the powder bronze blush and highlighter palette, this is $36. So just a little bit cheaper than the foundations, but more expensive than the concealer. It does look like they have a whole range. They've got lips, color correcting fluid, which I would totally be down to try because I love color correctors. And they also have a sponge. So what I want to do is I want to apply the liquid on the right side of my face and the powder on the left side of my face so that I can see the longevity, because this one's only supposed to be 16 hours and this one's supposed to be 24. Not sure if your girl's going to wear it for 24 hours. I hate sleeping in my makeup and it's already like 3 o'clock. So I don't know that I'm going to wear it that long, but it'll be interesting to see the differences. And the charcoal infused sponge is supposed to detoxify and mattify your complexion. I don't know about that. Here's the thing with charcoal. It does detoxify. I don't know that it's going to detoxify by patting your face with makeup, right? Like that, I just don't know about that. I'm not totally sold on that. I think we should get started. We should test these products. I'm going to do a very natural makeup look today as to follow, but I'm not just going to do my face. I'm going to do the rest of my makeup as well. So I do want to do, I'm going to do a little bit of shadow, some brows, some lashes, you know what I mean? Because I do want to wear this the rest of the day and I want to like look cute while I'm doing it, you know? So I think we should get into testing this out and see how it goes. Let's go ahead, and I rarely start with my face, so I don't think I'm going to start today by just doing my face. I'm going to put on this is my CeraVe Daily Moisturizing Lotion. This stuff I think is amazing for moisturizing my skin, and my skin has been real messed up. It could be so much worse. It's been real weird since giving birth. Like, I feel like I have a lot of texture in my skin, and there's my hair. That's not cute. I do feel like I have a lot of texture in my skin, which I did have pre-pregnancy, but then during pregnancy, my skin was the bomb. So I was kind of hoping that would stick around, but that's like a silly pipe dream, huh? So I'm going to go in with the concealer, and I'm going to be putting this on my lid. Okay, this might match. I typically like, I guess I probably should have told them I wanted the lighter shade in the concealer, because I typically like a lighter concealer, because I feel like I can start highlighting that way with the concealer. Wow, this is pretty full coverage. So the kind of makeup look that I was going to do today anyway before this arrived was my natural makeup look. I say natural because this is not natural for everybody. So I'm just going to take this powder foundation, maybe, and set my lid here. I just really like a translucent powder for this because I don't really want this to be like packed on coverage, you know? So I'm going to go ahead and take the bronzer, highlighter, blush duo. It's not a duo. I don't really feel comfortable calling it a threesome either. I'm just going to take this palette and I'm going to take the bronzer shade and tap off the excess and use this as my eyeshadow. So I do this a lot of times when I am doing a quick natural makeup look. And those two phrases should be in quotes because this is neither quick nor natural for people who don't do makeup every day. But if you are the kind of like everyday makeup wearer kind of person, this is definitely my like go-to look for quick and natural and kind of seamless. There's something very seamless about using the same bronzer shade as on your eyes as you do your cheeks. So I just am taking this little fluffy brush and putting that in the crease. This is not anything crazy. This is very simple, and this is the only shade I'm going to be actually using on my eyes today because, again, this is just a natural makeup look. Another choice that you can do, because I focus this more heavily in the outer V in the crease, is that you can put this all over the lid for kind of more of a smoky look while still being kind of natural, I would say. I'm just going to smoke that out a little bit more. The Maybelline Gel Liner in Blackest Black. And I'm going to have Jay set me up with this camera and this lens every time I do these videos because I feel like it looks real good. Tell me what you think. Don't tell me what you think because then Jay's going to think you won, you know? Kind of do like a baby-ish wing, not really a wing. My baby's crying. Is it super bright? Is it really bright? What do you think? Hi. 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 I'm like not even halfway there yet and you're already crying. Yeah. You want to sit on mommy's lap while I do this? This is going to be such a true like mom video, right? So I'm going to apply some lashes with a baby in my lap. I'm just going to use my full lips enhancer to enhance my lips a little bit while I'm doing my brows. We'll see how that goes. Lips are looking real full. They do look really red around the edges. That's just the nature of the game with this thing. And they do look like, I would say like extra full right after I do it. And then they go down to like what I would say like is a normal natural level. My eyes and brows are done. So I'm going to go in with no primer because there is no primer that comes with this. And all right. And I feel like if it doesn't come with primer and it claims to last 24 hours, then I should probably just not use primer. So we're just going to shake it a smidge and pump it onto the back of my hand. Oh, geez, that was much more liquidy than I thought. I squirted foundation on the back of my baby. Okay. It is very liquidy. And I just did basically 2 pumps. And we're going to, let me hold your hand. We're going to just put this, you know what? This might match me. I'm talking crap. Hey. Hold on. Oh, you're so mad. Alright, I'm just going to put this on the right side, which is kind of hard to do, to be honest. And it did say buildable medium coverage. I did 2-ish pumps. It was like 3 pumps, but the first one like didn't really come out, you know. Hey, hold on. Hey, hold on. Hold on. So we're just going to do that kind of all over. I do think I would like to do one more layer. This is going to kill me not to set this with powder, but I don't feel like I should set it. I'm going to do 2 more pumps. This does have a very fresh paint smell. Like, this really does smell like paint in the sense that it's got that like almost acetone smell to it. For example, Jay and I were just recently looking at houses and it smells like a freshly built, freshly painted home. I know. I feel like I was like talking crap about this not matching me, but it totally looks like, hey, it's okay. It totally looks like it does match. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. Okay, it doesn't say anything on the website about whether or not to set this or anything like that. It says like in the pro tips that if you want full coverage, use a flat brush. And they list their brush. If you want medium coverage, use a blending sponge. And then light coverage to use the Urban Decay Pro Diffusing Blush Brush. I hate flat brushes, so we're not doing that for sure. But I do feel like this is pretty full coverage with 2 layers using a sponge. That's my preferred method of doing it. It doesn't say anything about setting it, so I don't think I'm going to set it because it says that it's non-transferable and waterproof, yada yada, as a foundation by itself. So I don't feel comfortable setting it. So I'm going to go ahead and do the concealer on this side, and then I will do the concealer on this side because I do want to use concealer under the powder. I do want to use the concealer under the powder foundation because I still want to do concealer on both sides, and I do not want to put a cream concealer, liquid concealer on top of the powder. I would have for sure, if I had thought about it, would have for sure gotten this in a lighter shade because I want like that highlighted beaming look. This is a very thick. I mean, I don't think that looks bad per se, but I don't think it looks good either. Like, I don't feel like it's blending very well. So I'm going to do the concealer on this side. And I'm just going to tell you right now, so far, I don't feel like this is breathable or flexible like they say, like at all. This is very much thick. It's full. And I just feel like it's such an intense claim to try to make a product that is waterproof, sweat-proof, or I'm sorry, water-resistant, sweat-resistant, I suppose, and also breathable and flexible. That seems like a heck of a claim, right? Like, I don't know, that seems nuts to me. I don't feel like that's like realistic at all. Like, how do you make something that's naked looking while also being able to survive the elements? Like, that just seems crazy to me. But I don't know. Okay, so far I like the concealer for being a full coverage concealer, but that concealer is by no means light coverage at all. It does not feel light at all. So I guess I'm gonna use the charcoal sponge in this, which this is supposed to be mattifying, and we both know that I don't really want mattifying necessarily because my skin's already kind of dry. So this might not be the best for me. So maybe if you have oily skin, I hate these sponges. I hate them, but I'm gonna try it. I just hate the way they feel. There's something about, they have like a weird feeling to them. Oh, I hate this. I hate it already. Maybe if you have oily skin, this is gonna be right up your alley. But personally, and this is definitely lighter than this. That's not even a question. This is so much lighter than this is. Like, I feel like I've got dimension to my skin between the highlighter, or I'm sorry, the concealer and the foundation, because the concealer does seem to be a little bit lighter, or maybe this is just oxidizing, but that it says it's supposed to be a stay true color, but this is definitely lighter. I mean, it looks lighter in the like containers. Does that, I'm gonna turn this around so you can see the actual color. Do those look like the same color? This is not, and these are the same color. They say the same, 20 CP, both of them. That's odd. I do feel like this definitely has a matte finish, that's for sure. And I enjoy the feeling of it. It feels very much like it's like on there. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like this is going to come off as easy as the liquid, because liquids just feel that way. I guess if I was going to use this terrible sponge, I could have done my eyebrows afterwards, but that's not how I do things. This, I feel like you can see a visible line of difference on my head. Am I being crazy? Can you see it? Dark, light. Oh no, I've made, this has been a decision. I probably should have just used the same foundation over the whole thing. Okay, so in my video where I'm curling my hair and showing and telling you guys a story, I don't want to hear anything about my makeup, all right? Nothing. Let's go ahead and do that means I've tried the first 3 products, so we're going to go ahead and try the blush, bronzer, highlighter palette. I keep wanting to call it a duo. It's still not a duo. I'm just going to take my Morphe M523 brush. This is one of my favorite bronzer brushes of all time, and we're going to bronze. Only complaint so far is that I do feel like this bronzer, just after doing it on my eyes, it's a little orangey for my pale skin. But it is a bronzer and it's not supposed to be a contour. But I do feel like it's a smidge orangier than I would prefer. But that doesn't mean I don't like it. I do like it. Yeah, I don't like dislike the color. It's just a little orangier than I would normally go for. So maybe I'm just going for 2 cool contours, maybe in bronzers. Maybe that's the case. Yeah, this side blended so much easier because the foundation I feel like was a darker shade. So it like went with the foundation a little better. This side looks very contrasty. Like I just feel like I'm missing, I just feel like I'm too pale on this side. Like I feel like this looks really orange on this side versus the other side. I think it looks better. And I don't know why. Like I feel like if the foundation, liquid foundation, I feel like that should match the powder foundation. That's one thing I will say. So for Makeup Forever has a stick and a liquid foundation, and like these are their sticks. They're the what's it called? Ultra HD stick foundations. Makeup Forever makes these and a liquid version, and those colors always match. Like they're identical, which is pretty impressive for 2 different formulas. But still, I kind of feel like if like Makeup Forever can do it, Urban Decay's been around just as long, I think, so I don't see why they can't do the same thing. Like I just feel like this is a stark difference. I just like this side a lot more than this side. What do you think? This side seems more natural. This like looks like my face. This side looks like I don't know what I'm doing. But I also don't usually use powder foundation, so I wonder if I'm just not liking the way this blends over a powder, because I do feel like it's kind of an intense powder. or if I'm going way too overboard on the side because I don't like the color. That's a possibility too. I'm just gonna take this Morphe flat-ish angled brush and pat that in the blush, which seems real aggressive. Oh, I was right. Oh, that's kind of a lot. Okay. We're just gonna use that same amount on both sides. Like I tapped it in one time, and that is, and I even tapped my brush off, but that is more than enough for me. I'm not a big blush person. Okay. I'm gonna take my nose contour brush. This is my Morphe toothbrush looking guy, and I'm gonna pat that in the bronzer to kind of contour down my nose a little bit because I'm real big into the nose contour, and because I feel like this powder foundation made my nose look real white, and I don't like that. Okay, I'm going to use my Morphe. This is my highlighting brush, which is the M501 brush. This is my favorite highlighter brush, and I'm going to use the Urban Decay highlighter that comes in this particular palette. And I always like the Jeffree Star highlighters, so we'll see. All right, just going to tap off the excess and put that on my cheekbone right here. That's a very natural highlight. That's a very natural highlight. I don't hate it, but it's not really up my alley, to be honest with you. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to spray a little bit with my Scandinavia setting spray. See if I can get this to come out a little more in shimmeriness. A little bit. Sure. I'm going to take the bronzer underneath of my eyes to kind of smoke out my lower lash line. Just kind of lightly. This is my Celebrity Skin by Jeffree Star. This is my personal one, and as you can see, it's a little bit destroyed. I've just had it for a minute, but... It is, I just finished my makeup. It is 4:23, which is kind of impressive that this only took me like an hour and some change with the amount of times that I had to get up, which I'm sure you'll see in the bloopers at the end of this video, but like, Lord have mercy. But so far, meh. I'm not blown away by this, right? Like, I think that some people are blown away by this foundation. I am not blown away by this foundation. I feel like it is definitely still pretty thick. I like the application. I think that the color actually is perfect. Go back, Katilyn, editing Katilyn, and tell first Katilyn that she should have gotten her life together, because I totally did not think that this foundation color was going to match me, and it does. It really does. So I had no faith, so I'm sorry, Urban Decay, in the beginning of this video. I had no faith, but it does match me. However, I do not like how the powder foundation and the liquid foundation don't match each other. What the heck is up with that? So 20 CP in the powder is a smidge too light for me, in my opinion. This one is almost a smidge too dark, but it does match better. I wish that I had these two shades combined. Like, maybe I should have just applied them that way. But like, I don't think that's how they're supposed to be applied. I want to spend $39 on this and $39 on that just to get my perfect shade. That's silly. The concealer is nice, but I prefer my Jeffree Star concealer by far. It's a this feels so much more comfortable. This looks really good, but it doesn't feel as good. It feels a little bit heavy and like a little cakey for me personally. And this also definitely feels a little thicker and heavier. However, like I stated in the beginning or before, I said that if you tell me, hey girl, this foundation is thick, but it stays on through all the elements and you can wear it for 24 hours, then I'd be like, all right, you got me. Because I think that that's like realistic, right? Like I think it's super unrealistic to expect to find a lightweight foundation that can last for 24 hours through like anything you're doing. Like, seems a little crazy if you ask me, but maybe not. Maybe this is the one. It just doesn't feel very lightweight to me. I do feel like it has more of a full coverage when applied. I did 2 layers with the sponge. That seems pretty full coverage to me, but I did take 2 layers. And I also feel like it smells a little bit like paint, so that's my only con, right? Like, not sure I'm super like sold on the paint smelling. It really does. Like we were just looking at like freshly built homes, right? Is that the right? I feel like that's the wrong phrase. Newly built homes. That sounds better. And typically they are freshly painted, and I feel like that's what that smells like. It smells like fresh paint a little bit. So I don't know that that's like, it doesn't feel as natural when it smells like that. The smell definitely goes away. Obviously, after it's dried down, I can't smell it at all. But it does smell like paint a little bit when you're first applying it. So, all right, this is my final check-in, and I have now curled my hair, which is going to be a part of a different video that you guys will see later. So this is the very final check-in. It is officially... It's officially 11:13, almost 11:14. So it's been on for 7 hours, which isn't crazy. That's not like a crazy amount of time. And one thing I will say is that I have noticed the powder foundation is definitely creasing much more than the cream foundation on me. And I feel like the concealer under my eyes looks pretty good, even though I didn't technically set the concealer. Like on this side, I never can set the concealer with powder or anything. So that is kind of impressive, I have to say. I still like the liquid side better overall versus the powder side. I'm just not impressed with the powder side. So if I was buying one of these foundations, it definitely would not be the powder foundation for sure. So I got my this is my little satin sleep cap guy. The inside is like, I don't know, softer than the outside. So I was just going to, I guess they're the same material. They look like, I don't know, this thing's old. So I was going to just kind of do a little gentle swipe of both sides to see if we can see anything, but I feel pretty strongly that it is transferable. So I kind of feel like that's, I don't know, that claim is not, I'm not impressed. But let's just see. I'm just gonna, one little swipe. I mean, you can definitely see where my fingers are, right? That's not bad. I mean, it could be worse. We'll do this side. One little, and this side is definitely so much more. So no wonder this one has 16-hour wear and the other one has 24-hour wear. As far as the bronzer, highlighter, and blush, I could skip this. I think that this is a very nice, natural, easy go-to palette for most people. If you don't want a dramatic blush, you don't want a dramatic bronzer, and you don't want a dramatic highlighter, this is going to be right up your alley. I like that, I like that the colors complement the foundation colors really well. So I do think these are great colors for me, to be honest with you. I love that kind of peachy blush, and I will probably still use this. Aside from the highlighter, I'm probably not going to use the highlighter, but I probably will still use this and put it in my makeup bag as like on the go type thing. Because not everybody, like I have a Makeup Geek palette that has 2 contours and 2 blushes for me, right? And those are designed for me. I picked them out for me, and I feel like they work with my skin perfectly. So that's my go-to palette, but I had to buy all 4 of those separately. Most people don't want to do that. You just want to buy one palette and be done. So for the average person, especially the average mom, I do feel like this is going to be a great palette for you if you don't want anything too dramatic, you don't want a ton of glamour, and you just want a simple, natural look. This is a great option. I felt like the only thing I will say is on the powdered side, I don't think the blush stayed as well as on the liquid side. I feel like on the liquid side, I can see more of the blush still than the powdered, but probably because it's liquid. So I didn't set it, so it sticks a little bit better. But it's definitely not bad. I probably would skip this, to be honest with you, especially for the price range, but that's because I'm a professional makeup artist. Now, if I put my mom hat on, this does seem like a pretty good deal if you want a very natural look. So If you want a very natural look, by all means go for this, although for the price, I don't know. Concealer, I'm a fan of. So when I was applying it, I didn't like it because it felt a little cakey, and it definitely does still feel heavy under my eyes. This is really tough for me because I know that many people struggle with creasing under their eyes in fine lines right along here. So I know I am pretty lucky in that area, so it's hard for me to give this an honest review that would work for my clients because I haven't tested this on somebody that has those issues. Personally, I don't have a lot of issues with creasing. I have like a little baby line kind of right there. If I squint my eyes, I'm like trying to do it. If I squint my eyes, I have a little bit of a line there, and this doesn't settle in that line. And I don't really see it settling under my eyes very much. I mean, you can tell me on camera how you think it looks, but I think that the concealer looks the best out of everything. The foundation is probably my favorite, if it weren't for the claims that it makes on the package, because I feel like I'm over explaining this, but I really do like this foundation a lot, and I will definitely use this foundation, but I'm going to use it in the way that I use foundation, which is with a sponge, with setting powder, and with setting spray, and probably with primer. I'm never going to use a foundation, any foundations probably, without those steps. So this is hard for me to give an honest review of just using it as is, but it works pretty darn good as is. Does it work like it claims? No. It just doesn't, but it works pretty darn good as is. This is a little heavy for me, and I don't think that this would be something that I would reach for compared to the other concealers that I have. Like I said, my Jeffree Star concealer and my Tarte concealer are pretty much like the bomb. Those two are my favorite. But if I had to reach for one that wasn't like a L'Oreal concealer or those Maybelline ones that I don't like, not the Age Rewind, but the stick ones, I'm not a fan. If I still have a bunch of those, and I wouldn't reach for those, I would reach for this one. I don't dig the giant claims that this makes on the side of the package. I just don't. It makes so many claims, and I don't feel like it lives up to all of those claims, especially because the foundation says it's completely waterproof. I just don't know about completely waterproof. I know this one is definitely not. This one does say water resistant. The powder one does say water resistant. It's definitely not waterproof because my son's drool was, I mean, that brought it right off. All right, so I think that is it. Just, you know, to reiterate, I suppose, I would for sure recommend these two products. I know it doesn't sound like I would, but I would definitely recommend these two products for my clients. Now, I wouldn't recommend them for all of my clients. If I had a client who scheduled a lesson with me and they told me, Caitlin, I really hate to do all of the steps, could you just recommend me some products that I can use individually? These would for sure be the products. For sure, I would recommend these, and that's totally fine. Now, if I ever did a lesson and I had a client who was like, hey girl, I want to know how to do every step. I want to sit down at my vanity for an hour every day and do all the steps. And I'd be like, all right, then skip these. But these are, I do think individually, these are great products. So I think that's it. I think that's all. This is my first impression. This is my first impression video, and I'm pretty proud of myself because I feel like I actually I skipped all the steps that I would normally want to do. And this is a pretty good makeup tutorial if you just want a really quick look. Girl, this is it. Like, you can skip the lashes, of course. I love the lashes. I can't help it. I love lashes. But you could totally skip the lashes, and this could be your easy mom look. I mean, you saw me doing it with my baby on my lap, so I'm just saying. All that I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in how I curl my hair, stay tuned for the next one. This is like not anything life-changing, but if you're interested in how I get my curls to last and curl my hair and maybe also hear a crazy client story, that will be in the next video. So please subscribe so that you can watch that video next. And if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. I really, really appreciate you being here. And I hope you guys are all doing awesome. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time.